Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Asian Psycho. We're back for more Sengoku Rance. Now, I know that I've been explaining things for a long time here, but then just keep in mind that I'm really going to take the time to explain this for those of you guys who have not played this game before. This game is really fun, and it was one of the most addicting games out there, in my opinion. So, I just want to take the time to thank you guys for, if you guys have been watching up to this time. For those of you guys who haven't known Sengoku Rance before, I introduced it rather. So yeah, so let's actually, now that I've finished all these tabs, there are a lot more unit types than this, but then I don't have all of them, unfortunately. I will explain them as we meet more unit types as we go on. So let's go into the actual events themselves. As you can see, if you click on your country, then you can see a list of events that you can choose. And you can also do the same thing for adjacent countries around you, but there's not really much to do because it's just the first turn and there's not much to do, except just go to your own territory and just click on random things. So what you want to do first is you want to click on this event prison, and what this will do is this will unlock the prison tab right here, which is F4. And basically the prison will allow you to capture enemy commanders in battle. So you want to unlock this first things first. So basically this is the scene where you are introduced to the prison, and yeah. So that unlocks your prison, and you see there are no prisoners. I have nothing to do. You can, this game only allows you to carry up to 30 captured enemy commanders at a time. Also, the more commanders or the more prisoners you have, the harder it is for you to capture the next prisoner. And once you're at 30, you can't capture any more prisoners. Also, when you release 5 commanders at once, you get this item called a Happy Pakaru, which is when I bring up the items tab right here, it occupies item slot number 6, and basically the Happy Pakaru just is basically like a free level up, and it just gives +1 level to any commander that you choose. Mostly they have the most use for Rance because he's got the insane level cap right there, but then I occasionally use it for other people too if they have really high level caps too. So yeah, just keep that in mind, and I recommend that you gather enough commanders to like release like 15-20 prisoners at a time. Just don't release any commander that you think is really good and that will deal a lot of damage to you if they are recruited by another country, or like a really important vital character, like a plot important character. So yeah. So let's see here, we will go over and talk to Kohime, because basically she will allow us to recruit other people, as you can see here. So these are negotiation events. We can go ahead and negotiate so that these people can join us in the army. And the most important of these 3 is this Miko called Tamaguchi Fuka. So you want to recruit her because she may or may not be important depending on how you want to use her, but then yeah, she's important for me. So in just the satisfaction bonus, and know that I need to get back to these tabs. So we'll just go through this recruiting event. Basically they just ask her to fight for Owari, and that's what she does. So yeah, yay. So quick and going over to these tabs down at bottom. The cost is okay. So if you guys have ever played the real-time strategy called StarCraft, you guys would know that StarCraft is all about, or part of it, or a big part of it, is all about the supply. If you're supply blocked, you can't really make more units. And what I mean by supply block is if you don't have enough supply, or basically food, to support like your current army, then you can't make any more units. That's the same way in Sengoku Rance. You want to keep this cost level below the number of your power, because if it goes over, not only will your a per turn revenue in terms of gold like decrease to like a maximum of like only 720, 7,200. Even if like it can go a lot above that. I've gotten like 10,000 gold not 10,000, but like 100,000 gold once in like a single turn. But then if you are supply blocked, in this case, in the aspect of this game, then that means that you will only get 7,200 gold no matter what, no matter how many territories you own. So that really sucks. Don't get supply locked. you can get supply blocked, and there are certain ways to do so and make it to your advantage, but then I don't really recommend that unless you know what you're doing. And yeah, once you are supply blocked, you won't be able to recruit more soldiers. As you can see here, I can recruit more soldiers until that cost thing right there at bottom increases, and the threshold for that is once they hit 500 units. And after that, not only does their cost increase, but their their recruitment cost increases per soldier. So, oh yeah, I need to get into the stats itself. Damn it. Okay, I'll just quickly cover these bottom tags, and we'll go back into army battle, the statistics and stuff. So satisfaction, this tab right here basically indicates the amount of satisfaction your main character, Rance, has after fucking a lot of bitches. Literally, yes, that's what he gets. Sometimes after there are some sex scenes, no way around it, but after there's some sex scenes, there are sometimes ones that don't give you satisfaction at all, and I really question why they don't. Normally, almost all sex scenes will always increase your satisfaction bonus one way or another, and satisfaction bonuses are actually very good. This game encourages you to go around and fuck a lot of bitches, and yeah, every 10 satisfaction you will get a event in any territory you own that says like satisfaction bonus, and you can select any satisfaction bonus you want to. So yeah, that's a really good thing, and there are some really good satisfaction bonuses that I'm really interested in getting as quickly as possible. So yeah, it's gonna help a lot. As you can see, this is the gold here. This is the total revenue that you have. It's a good thing about Sengoku Rance because you don't have to worry about like multiple revenue sources. It's just straight up gold. That's all you need to worry about. Right here is just a turn number. Just tells you what turn number you're on. And you can see Rance 7. This is the 7th title in the Rance series, although it is officially called Sengoku Rance. They just call it Rance 7 anyway, so yeah. Alright, now let's move on to the actual stats of each unit themselves. So, as you can see, going from left to right, there you got the job, their war. Let's say, for example, Rance. Rance is a warrior. He's got 300 out of 300 troops, and he's got 3 actions. So basically, he can either act 3 times, or there are certain moves where it takes up more than 1 action flag. And Rance, there is a satisfaction bonus that you can get for him that's called Rance Attack, and it basically takes all his action flags. But then it's like a special move for him. So you'll see it once I actually get it. So attack stat right here is pretty simple. It's just basically tells you how powerful he is. He can be a lot more powerful than this, but I had to invest the time in it, and it's pretty worth it in my opinion. And defense, he's got pretty low defense, but then that can be easily managed later on. Intelligence, this is a little bit tricky. Most people do not know like the importance of intelligence. Straight up, intelligence is similar to defense, but then whereas defense is like the kind of defense against physical attacks, intelligence is the defense against magical attacks. So, for example, if a defender like Alina attacks us, then Rance's intel stat will kick in, and basically that'll be his defense against magical attacks and defender attacks, what have you. So that's what the intelligence stat is initially for. Now for guard units, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Guard units, when their intel stat their intel stat is directly correspondent to their passive ability. So for example, both of these guys have ally guard, which is basically their default guard skill, and ally guard in particular guards up to 20% times the amount of times their intel stat. So each time you click on ally guard in battle when you have Katsui out, his guard rate will increase by 120%, which is 20 times 6, hence 120. There is the upgraded version of, actually from here you can actually kind of upgrade them to either all guard or ally guard plus. Ally guard plus will carry the same characteristics as ally guard, except their ally guard plus's percentage will be 30%. So if he had ally guard plus, he will be guarding at a rate of 180 each. So yeah, that's really high. And one thing to note that if you are facing against an enemy guardian, which you will always do, each time you attack them, you will lop off 40% off their current guard rate. if they have a Shikigami up, that means that Shikigami will tank for the guard unit, and their guard rate will not drop at all. If you guys will understand once I actually go through this thing. So yeah. Keep that in mind. Also, the other skill that I mentioned, All Guard. All Guard basically allows one guard unit to guard the entire field, which is highly useful if you're running out of guard units to deploy on the field. Because once you deploy or once you use any unit for any kind of reason, unless they got a skilled unless they've got an item called here it is, Akashita Dog. I don't know what it's called. Akashita Dog. This item allows a unit to move twice in a single turn, which is very good. Except this cannot be unequipped because it's so overpowered. That means that for a really strong commander like him, he can move twice in a single turn, and thus participate in 2 battles that you wanted to participate in. Yeah, that's really good. So yeah, normally normal commanders aren't able to do that though, unless they've got this item attached to them. So that being said, let's see here. The ally guard, yeah, all guard for a foot soldier is it guards at a rate of 10%. So 10% times 4 would be 40% if he had all guards. So that's how the intel works for guard units. Now moving on to its speed. Speed is kind of wacky in this game. Normally the speed statistic would tells you how fast each unit is. So for example, you typically Ranmaru would be faster than Rance because she's got a faster speed statistic. But sometimes the game will give like speed priority to some really random units. The reason for that is that built or coded or programmed into each unit type is like a base stat. So like warrior units have a base attack stat, they got a base defense stat, base intel stat, base speed stat, and they are kind of different from what the stats tell you from here. So for example, warriors will typically do more damage than like say foot soldiers because of the fact that their base attack is higher than foot soldiers attack, because obviously warriors are meant to be offensive units, whereas foot soldiers are meant to be defensive units. So in that sense, yeah, it's understandable. But for the speed ones, say like ninja units and especially cavalry units are very fast, and like say diviner units, because diviner units, their primary attack, Shikigami, requires preparation, as you can see in the tag right there, and preparation takes a long time, and sometimes they're only able to pull off like 1 or maybe 2 shots if they're lucky, but then typically only 1 shot, so that's why they're so fast. Ninjas, they're obviously very fast. I mean, of course, they're ninjas. And cavalry units, they're very fast too. So typically, they will start faster than other units, even if enemy units have like a higher speed statistic than they do. So that's why. And before I forget, I'm gonna move Tamaguchi Fuka down there. So yeah, that's it for. Oh shit, I forgot to explain the rest of it. Whoops. So basically, the search tabs or the search stat is basically, for example, search for dungeons. This is what they're used for. Basically, let's see. So for example, certain commanders have a much higher search stat than others, and that's understandable. He's a ninja, so I mean, it's understandable that he has a very high search stat. So yeah, having a high search stat doesn't help. It doesn't hurt. And just that these first 5 stats that you can see here are the most important, because they are basically your battle stats, and they are pertinent to how this unit performs in battle. Negotiation is the stat you can see here, and typically tacticians have a very high negotiation stat, because obviously they're tacticians, duh. Let's see, negotiation is, as you can see here, what I used to recruit Tamaguchi Fuka, and you can negotiate there. You can also negotiate to have enemy prisoners work for you, so you can recruit them. So that's how you recruit enemies with this prison here, and using people's negotiation stat right here. So moving on to construction, I don't really use construction all too much. Basically, construction's only 2 uses is to prepare for the next battle, which is I honestly don't know what this does, and to like develop your country's national power. So if I were to click on this, no action plan available, unfortunately. If I were to click on this and I still had some action plans available, then that means that this tab will come up, and basically I get to choose how many commanders can construct something, and then yeah, it'll increase this national power. You can see here on the lower right hand corner, or national power 5, it'll increase it to 6. So yeah, I don't recommend actually manually doing this unless it's an emergency, because all these countries, they are more than sufficient to support all your troops. So unless there's certain weird events, something like that decreases your national power, but unless that happens, then you don't have to worry about it for the most part. And finally, this is their cost. This statistic right here is pretty much the only negative statistic in this game, pretty much. Cost is basically how much power they take up. So let's say like Rance, Ranmaru, Maeda Toshie, and Alina are really cheap units because they only take up like one unit, one cost. Whereas units like Yamagata Masakage and Baba Shoin, they're really expensive because they start off as 3, and then once you pass their threshold of 500 troops, that means that their cost will go up to 4. So yeah, they're pretty expensive to start with, but they're still worth it to have. Alright, now that I've got all that damn explaining out of the way, god, I'm tired of talking. I'm going to cut the recording right here because I believe that I've covered all the basic game mechanics for this game, and we're gonna get into the actual action next episode. So sorry that it took so long to actually get into action, but like I said, I do want to make sure that most of you guys do understand what the hell's going on, because no one wants to watch a game that they don't even know what the fuck's going on. So whatever. Anyways, guys, hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode where shit is gonna go down. We will fight and fuck some bitches. Thanks for watching, guys.